Welcome to Step by Step. We come here every Saturday at 4 Eastern Standard Time and go through redoing a furniture piece step by step. I want to dedicate today's video to my son Chris. It's his birthday on the 5th and he is such a big helper of mine. I always appreciate everything he does for me, but also he's a big Lego fan, and today's video is a little bit about Legos, so I think that he'll like it. Today we're making over a vintage dough box end table. Now this one's worth a lot of money. It's pretty much just like the one that I'm doing over, except mine wasn't really in great shape. So I'm going to get into the details on that right now. So first of all, one of the supporting pieces was cracked. So that had to be re-glued for that leg to stay on. So I used Titebond Thick and Quick and re-glued and clamped overnight that piece so that the table leg could go back in. So that was a real easy fix. And this is the first time I used Titebond Thick and Quick. I used it throughout this project along with another adhesive, and I really liked it. I like the packaging because it closes up easily. I like that it's thick. I often use molds and stuff so it stays in place right away without sliding. So I was pretty happy with this, and I will continue to use it, I'm sure. Here I'm using Dixie Belle's mud to just clean up some places where there are cracks. So it's real easy to just spread this on. I use a disposable plastic knife. That way I don't have to worry about rinsing it down my drain and having it harden in my drain. That way I can just throw it away, and it's real easy to clean up. So you just want to let that dry, and then you can easily sand it. Here's another spot that was split, and the Dixie mud came in handy. That was just a scratch, and paint fixed that. So I am considering what color to use. So I have some of the Lego bricks here that we're going to be using. So they help determine our colors. So I used Cobalt Blue, Tree Frog Green, and Manatee Gray. We ended up throwing a few more other colors in there too. Also Burlap. So the handle, I kind of made a mess, and I needed to use the mud with that. But I also used the Titebond to glue this. I made a new handle. Now the handle's not functional. It was just for looks. So what I did was I took a Jenga block, and then I took 3 of the plugs that you use when you cover up recessed screw holes, and made a Lego of sorts. So I did decide on Cobalt Blue. This is an insanely gorgeous blue. I just love it so much. Don't use it enough. I kept a piece upside down to start painting, but I painted only after a thorough cleaning with White Lightning from Dixie Belle. But look at the coverage already just on one coat. Of course, it did end up getting 2 coats, but I start painting around the sides of the box. And I guess I'm out of order because I did that before I removed the handle, because you can still see the handle in the first picture. I'm just going to let you watch this color build. Isn't it just amazing? Dixie Belle has so many gorgeous colors, and sometimes I forget how incredible they are. But you can see how well it coordinates with the little base for the blocks. And then here I'm using the gray on the legs. Again, I thought the best way to paint this was with the legs up in the air. It made it a lot easier than doing some of the gymnastics I end up doing when I'm painting. And I use burlap on that little skirt. So there's a plan in mind. Some of it's supposed to look like sand, some of it's supposed to look like water, some of it's supposed to look like grass, and some of it's supposed to look like cement. That's the color inspiration. And it's also easy to do some painting while it's upside down. Now I used an artist brush very carefully and then went back and also trimmed it, touched up all of the things when it was sitting right side up too. So don't worry if you get paint on the part you painted before, because you can easily touch it up. So it takes several passes before I get it to look good. So don't worry, don't be too critical and think I could never do that. Believe me, I am not the neatest person, and I get paint on other areas that I don't want it, and I just have to come back, and it's just part of the process. So I did remove the handle. I did paint the sides and stuff first. You can see I finally flipped it up, and I had used mud to correct that area where the former handle had been. So I got that nice and cleaned up and smooth, and then I also found another area that could use a little more smoothing, and I went ahead and put the Dixie Belle mud right on top of the paint, because I can still, it's all water-based. That's the beauty of Dixie Belle products. So you can come back and fix it later. So now I'm using the tree frog green and doing the one of the halves of the top of the table. So you see the top is hinged and it'll go back. So I jump around. So here, I think Megan's helping me here too. So we paint the handle, just put a pop of red in there. And then also, the front we filled with the blue because she thought that looked like, the ocean. So now I am using I'm using Power Grab. That's an adhesive made by Loctite, and I am attaching these base plates that you can use for Legos or other building blocks. These aren't official Legos, so I don't want to say these are Legos because they're not, but they're compatible with Lego blocks and other small blocks like that. So I'm almost empty on that tube, but there's still plenty left, so I'm struggling to get all of the glue out. But what's cool about this stuff is, like the Thick and Quick, it's more of a construction adhesive, but it will totally grab right away without moving around. So you can put it on a vertical surface and it works just great. So a little more painting. So obviously the green side is to represent kind of grass, and this side is going to be kind of the cement side of things, and we'll be putting a road on it. Let me tell you, just like every other project, this one grew as it went on. So I had, certain things in mind, but I wasn't 100% clear on how it was going to go. So I just kept going with it, and I feel like the end was the big finish, and we had a really big surprise at the end. Something I wasn't considering at all, but it ended up working out beautifully in my estimation. So I'm just using one of Dixie Belle's flat, small brushes, and that way I can just get right up to the edge there, but yet I still have a big enough brush that I can complete the rest of the project. More gluing, and I did measure these when I did do center, and here I'm measuring some more, just to make sure that we get it positioned so that everything looks good. I'm also doing a lot of guesstimating too, but kind of lining it up with the other piece, setting it down, and then doing some measuring. So the nice thing about it is Power Grab, but not until I press it into place. It'll still wiggle around a little bit, so just want to get it right. I got this set of these building block bases through eBay, but then I saw they have bigger squares at 5 and below. So there's different sources to get these. I actually do have another table. I might be doing it again, doing a repeat. So I'm still finishing up this power grab, and I am putting it on my little handle I made to put on the front of the piece. And that color is Honky Tonk Red. And this one I'm kind of eyeballing because there's those fake screws on the side and also the dip in the front, which is center. Now I'm counting the number of little dots so that I can figure out what's the middle. So there's 8, or excuse me, there's 16. So I count over to 8, and then I use the middle 2. I have to count again just to make sure. But I'm using the middle 2 because if I just did 8, then it would be off center. So then I'm figuring out how long I want to make the lines in the road. So I was considering doing 3, but then I wanted it to be a little more proportionate. So I'm just doing I'll do 2, then I skip 1, and then I do 2 more, and on and on. Next, I'm taking Big Mama's Butter and our Best Dang brush from Dixie Belle, and I'm giving the inside of this a whole new fresh scent. I'm using Orange Grove, and I so wish you could smell this. It's just making the inside of this smell amazing. So that's where all of the little building blocks are going to be stored. So we want it to smell really good in there. So here comes the surprise part. So recently we started, we as in Dixie Belle, started selling their bells and whistles, transfers, and decoupage papers. So wasn't planning on this in my design, but I just felt it needed something a little bit more. So I'm using the hot air balloons and clocks transfer. I open it up and I just cut out the designs that I want to use. So I'm only using hot air balloons, and I'll be saving the rest of these for another project. They're so cool. My mother loved hot air balloons, so I'm just tickled to be able to put these into this piece. And this is just kind of a real special piece. And you know what? This married the whole project together in my estimation. The piece had the little curvy lines to it, which said vintage to me, yet the primary colors were a little bit foreign to that concept. So this married everything together, and it gave me direction for the rest of my design. These colors are so vibrant. I truly love these transfers. They're amazing, and Dixie Belle outdid themselves. For their first time out, they came up with some amazing designs. So I choose 3 for the long sides, and then I put 1 on the end. I don't like to put even numbers on things. I think that it's more aesthetically pleasing to do things in groups of 3s and 5s. So you take the backing paper off, and then you just use the little stick that comes with it to rub the transfer or burnish it onto the surface. Super easy to use, and you know, our brand ambassadors got to use these before the rest of us did, and then our elite retailers got to order them first. So I'm an elite retailer, so I'm happy I got to use them. I've used other transfers before, and a lot of the retailers, or excuse me, the ambassadors were saying that they found these to be easier to use than any other transfer they had ever used. And I have to say, they release just great. So I think they're pretty easy to use as well. So one thing I like to do is flip over and then use the shiny side and just kind of continue to burnish that down just a little bit more. Can you see how that just brings the colors of this together and just marries the whole thing? And we're not quite done yet. There's still more to come. But this just helped me see the direction that I wanted to go with this and take it to the finish line. I'm letting the footage go so you can just see how quick and easy this is to do. If you're interested in purchasing Dixie Belle products, there is a link in my description box for the affiliate link. And if you are also enjoying this video, I would love it if you hit the like button, if you comment, if you share it, if you subscribe. That all helps grow the channel. If you visit La Vintage Decor on Instagram, you'll see we have a contest going because I just hit 600 subscribers on YouTube, and the goal right now is 1,000. And so when we reach 1,000, we have a giveaway. So visit my Instagram page for all of the instructions on how you can win too over $500 worth of products when we get to 1,000 subscribers. So again, we reached 600 today, and the way my channel's growing, I don't think it'll be much longer. I love this little balloon. It says circus on it. It's so cute. This brings in the child's like playfulness of it, in my estimation. And again, I just love the vintage flavor that this is bringing. This was such a little fun project. It was in my mind for a long time. Didn't know exactly how I wanted it to go, but I'm very pleased with the results and the direction that we took. I say we because, again, Megan is helping me. I talk about Megan a lot. She's here from CareerLink, and I'll miss her when she goes back to, or when she goes to college. We're just blessed to have her here. Speaking of blessings, this is Easter weekend, so I wish you all the blessings of the Easter season. Now, bringing it home with some wax. Again, I'm using the Best Dang brush and Dixie Belle's clear wax. And my first thoughts were, wow, watch how this wax just makes everything so vibrant. It just takes those colors up a whole big notch. I don't know if you can see very well like the difference on camera, but it just intensifies that cobalt blue in a really crazy way. Crazy good. So I'm just doing one side at a time so I don't have to move all over the place, but this project's going really quickly. I'm just waxing those legs. And then the next part, again, I feel like when I say that those transfers gave me my direction, I decide to use brown wax to bring out the details in this. And the vintage look of the balloons is what took me there. And I am using the LaPetite brush and the brown wax. And I always like to show you my wax. It's kind of hard and chunky, which is cool. I like it that way for my dark waxes. And I'm just doing the corners and just around here. It doesn't get rid of my vibrant blue, but to me, it just frames it out, and it just brings out the vintage look in the hot air balloons. Like I said, just loving it. Can't say it enough. See how cool that looks? I know we sped up the video, but that part really did go fast. So here it is, staged outside, and I'm really thrilled with the results. I just think it'll be a great storage piece for moms and grandmas and a lot of fun for boys and girls. The Lego piece or action figure piece, did you see he got a new t-shirt? He got a LaVintage Decor shirt. Think that's kind of cute if I do say so myself. Lots of storage in there, and there's these beautiful hot air balloons. This was a lot of fun, and I want to thank you so much for watching today. And again, I hope you come back again, like and share, subscribe to our channel. It all means a lot. And meanwhile, if you'd like to visit us at lavintagedecor.company, that's the website, and then on LaVintage Decor at Instagram and on Facebook, we're LaVintage Decor Altoona. Stay well.